Yo, what up? Shut up, sit down. It's time for a fireside chat. Hi, welcome to Fireside Chat. Tonight we are telling concert stories, specifically the craziest ones we've ever been to.
The wilder the better.
The wilder the better. So, what you got?
What I remember the most is one that involves you, funny enough.
Do tell.
It was Slayer. I think it was 2007, 6 maybe. It was the Christ Illusion tour, and the show had just ended. Like, we went through the entire night, and the show had just ended, and you had been in the mosh pit, like, for 90% of the whole thing.
I was exhausted.
And the moment the big old lights come on, and everybody's, like, you know, stumbling out of it and everything, I'm standing off to the side a little bit away from the pit, and I see you coming, and you run straight into this dude and knock his beer out of his hand.
All over me, head to toe.
And you turn to him and go, dude, I'm sorry. And then it was like, dude, I'm sorry. It was like, that dude punched you to the floor.
Literally, it was, I remember, jaw, side of the head, body, yeah, all the way to the ground.
All the way to the floor, and then, like, I was like, oh, shit, and then, like, by the time I got there, like, as soon as you touched the floor, they quit hitting you, and then they just moved on.
Yeah.
And I walked over to you, and you were like, what happened? You were like, you just spilled that dude's last $10 beer of the night. I'm like,
that was bullcrap. You gotta tell your Bone Thug story.
oh, my God, the only time I ever saw Bone Thugs at Harmony Live, we got super smashed in the parking lot, like
a fucking fifth of Jaeger before we even went in the show.
that, and like a bunch of beers. What was it, Kelsey and Charlotte had that tequila or whatever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Just, oh God, we were super drunk. We go in there, and it's like 3 hours before the show, but we get up to the door, pay the ticket and everything. And we go in there, and there's like 3 opening bands, and we're just, wild out the whole time. We get super close. By the time Bone Thugs is ready to come on, we're like maybe 3 rows from the stage.
And we are hammered.
Yeah, and
like, I don't remember opening bands hammered.
yeah, like, and as soon as the show starts, about 3 songs into it, this big fuck, he's probably like, I'm 5'10", and this dude's probably like 6'4", something or other. This big fucking, like, college dude wearing like a button-up shirt or whatever, and he says, you run into me again, man, we gonna have a problem. And I look back, I'm like, well, we're at a concert, chill out, what do you want me to do? We're all smashed in here. The 4th song starts and Bone Thugs playing, and this dude grabs my shoulder, spins me around, and suck. And as soon as it didn't really hurt, it kind of feels like when somebody uppercuts you with a pillow or something like that. It's just like, ugh. And I came back and I hit him in the chin, and then he reached down in front of behind my shirt and started pulling this, and I grabbed his shirt, and then a tree trunk arm and then another tree trunk arm lifted me up and walked me through the entire building.
Like, carried you?
Oh, yeah, feet off the ground and everything. And I'm like, what the fuck? Holy shit. Like, walks me all the way to the front door and throws me to where I'm like, into the concrete. And this dude's like, this guy was fighting and this guy's fighting. I never saw that dude again. But as soon as I stand up and look, a cop goes, like, come here.
No, in Broad Ripple.
Yeah, he walks over and gives me a breathalyzer, and I blow a .04, which I'm like, how the fuck did I do that? We drank way, I mean, it had been like 4 hours since then,
right.
but like, god damn, really? Like, they wouldn't let me back in Vogue. This other bar that my wife was at wouldn't let me in because I didn't have the right dress code. It was like white tees and sneaks for guys or whatever like that. But concert ends, everybody comes out, and they're like, let's go to this other bar, yeah. And then we go to this other bar, and when I'm talking about getting thrown out of the Vogue, and the guy, I think it's the bartender or the owner or somebody walks up and says, hey, if you've been thrown out of a bar tonight, we can't serve you, and you have to leave. And I'm like, what? God damn it, this night sucks.
I'm talking like in the last 3 songs, give or take, of Bone Thugs, before Kelsey was like, where'd your brother go? I was like, I don't know. I assumed you were in the bathroom getting sick or something. But no, you were long gone by that point.
I was out the front gate hating life.
I got one here. So I went to the Emerson Theater, which is it's an old venue in Indiana that used to be a movie theater. They turned it into a concert venue. I think CBGB's from New York, but for Indiana, it's just a little hole in the wall venue. Anyway, I went to
My beer.
I went there for a band called Pig Destroyer. One of my favorite bands, but they were a part of a festival called Dude Fest, which is just a funny ass
Really suggestive name.
Exactly. So I go there, I arrive late. There's about 4 bands before Pig Destroyer, and the band on stage sounds awesome. Sounds like a Napalm Death-ish type of band, and I'm like, oh, get me in there, and I get to the pit, and I look up on stage, and I see a guy on stage fucking a blow-up doll. And I noticed he has a microphone, and I was like, okay, there's a singer, and there's band members way away from him, like drummers over here, bass player, guitar, but then I hear a deep growl, and it's not coming from this guy. I was like, okay, there's 2 singers. Where's that guy? And I look next to me in the pit. This dude is butt-ass naked in the pit with a pair of boxers on his head, moshing people and trying to jump on people.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And yeah, we gave him plenty of room. It's like, no. So, after they end, a couple bands come on. I don't really remember. Pig Destroyer comes on, and that place turns into a wall-to-wall mosh pit. Like, even if you stood still, the crowd would move you from wall to wall. I remember their last song was called Fuck You Up and Get High. It's a cover of an old punk song. But they said, we want as many people to jump off stage during this song. The song's like 1 minute long, so during the song, as soon as it starts, the entire crowd rushes the stage, and like you can see people like jumping off, doing front flips off the stage. And this is actually, I found out later when I went home and tried to look up footage of the concert on YouTube. This is back in 2007, 8. Something like that, like, when YouTube footage was hard to find. I found a video of me Superman diving off the stage. That's the first time I ever saw myself on YouTube.
Oh, neat.
But yeah, that was cool. I got to meet the band afterwards. You want to hear the most frustrating part of that show?
What?
I took tons of pictures, tons of video, met the band, chilled with them afterwards, smoked with them. I went home, and you and Nick and a bunch of people were having a party. And I was just in my room fucking going through all my cool pictures, and I went to delete a few, and I deleted my entire photo library. Every one of those photos was gone. The only one I had was a picture of me and the singer of Pig Destroyer as a screensaver, and I kept it till that phone died, but
Man.
I lost everything. But yeah, that was a cool concert, but that was a bullshit ending to it. Still want to go with crazy, but how about we end with a good kind of crazy?
Good crazy.
So, me... Johnny, Olivia, and Cody Wheeler, rest his soul, went to Ohio to see Cottonmouth Kings and Tech Nine, and I can't remember who else. Anyway,
when you went to that.
Oh yeah, whenever we got to the show, Liv fucking reaches out of her pants. She's like, "I brought ecstasy." I was like, "Uh-oh." So we're already really drunk. We smoked a ton in the hotel and like blew it out of the window,
Yeah.
But we took like 3, 4, 5 hits of ecstasy apiece.
Jesus
and, yeah, and you're unstoppable at that point. Like, should have been overwhelming because you're in a concert, you're getting dehydrated anyway. And I was just... but that one should have ended bad. But no, that was an insanely fun night. Good times.
That's good shit.
What do you got?
Me, I think it was 2006, whenever the Hell's Pit tour for ICP come to the Clips, Horizon, or whatever the
so
hell it
damn
is
fun,
now.
yeah, Deer Creek.
But they ate a 1/4 ounce of mushrooms, and they had the fucking that carnival that came with them and shit like that.
Yeah,
those
the haunted house.
houses. Yeah, we ate them like an hour before we went in, and then by the time we went in, like, it's like, hey, these are kicking in, like, all right. And Ricky's like, let's go to the haunted house, because they got a 3D clown haunted house thing, and I'm so like, like I'm running into every single wall. I ran into almost every clown actor who was supposed to jump out and scare us. I'm like, oh, sorry. And they're like, what the fuck, man? And I was like, sorry.
My bad, bro.
Yeah, it's like we walked through that whole thing, and Ricky's like, "You ruined that damn shit." I fucking like.
I remember I saw you coming out of one of the haunted houses, and you were all just cackling.
Oh man, it was so funny. Those dudes were so bad, especially those guys at the end. Like that's supposed to be the big scare at the end.
Fuck 'em.
And I ran straight into that guy. He was like, "Fuck, dude," and I was like, "Oh my bad." Like,
Oh, my bad. We have many, many more concert stories, but I think that will do it for tonight. Do you have anything else?
Sorry. Yes. Like, subscribe, and see you later.